I'm Nejuboy, and today we embark on a journey not across continents in the usual sense but into the very fabric of the peculiar and the profound. Our world, this remarkable planet, harbors secrets in its furthest corners, places so astonishingly strange that they challenge our perception of what is possible. We will be counting down 10 of the most bizarre destinations on Earth, locations where the laws of nature seem to have been playfully bent, resulting in landscapes of breathtaking and often bewildering beauty. These are not the destinations you will find in a typical travel brochure. Some are ethereal, touched by an almost supernatural grace, while others are stark, even intimidating, in their alienness. They are the planet's curiosities, geological oddities and historical enigmas that have fascinated scientists and adventurers for generations. From vast, reflective plains that merge heaven and earth into one, to fiery pits that burn endlessly, each location tells a unique story of the powerful forces that continue to shape our world in the most unexpected of ways. As we travel together through these extraordinary realms, I invite you to join the conversation. Have you been fortunate enough to witness any of these marvels with your own eyes? Perhaps you've stood on the edge of a burning crater or walked across a landscape that mirrors the sky. Share your experiences in the comments below. For now, let us begin our exploration of the 10 most bizarre places you won't believe exist. Our journey begins here, in the highlands of southwest Bolivia, at an altitude of nearly 12,000 feet. This is Salar de Uyuni, the world's largest salt flat. For much of the year, it is a seemingly infinite expanse of hexagonal salt tiles, a stark white desert stretching to the horizon. The sheer scale is difficult to comprehend. It covers over 4,000 square miles, a remnant of a prehistoric lake that evaporated long ago, leaving behind this immense crust of salt. The air here is thin and crisp and the silence is profound, broken only by the crunch of salt underfoot. This is a landscape of extremes where the blindingly bright surface plays tricks on the eye, blurring the line between the earth and the sky. It is a harsh environment, and yet, life finds a way. Flocks of rare pink flamingos often gather here to breed, feeding on the brine shrimp that thrive in the shallow, mineral-rich pools that dot the surface. Their presence adds a splash of delicate color to the otherwise monochromatic world. But it is during the rainy season that the salar undergoes its most magical transformation. A thin layer of water collects on the compacted salt, creating a flawless, shallow lake. The water, perfectly still and undisturbed, turns the entire salt flat into the largest natural mirror on the planet. The effect is utterly mesmerizing. The sky is reflected with such perfect clarity that the horizon disappears completely. To stand here is to feel as if you are walking amongst the clouds, suspended between two heavens. It's an illusion of perspective, of course, a trick of light and water. But the experience is deeply moving. Photographers and travelers flock here to capture this surreal spectacle, creating images that defy logic. People appear to be floating in a void. Vehicles seem to drive across the sky, and the setting sun paints both the heavens above and the ground below in fiery hues. It's a place where one can truly lose their sense of direction, and perhaps their sense of self in the overwhelming beauty. The salt crust itself is not just a natural wonder, it is also a vital economic resource. Beneath the surface lies a vast reservoir of brine, rich in lithium, a key component in batteries for our modern electronic world. The traditional methods of salt extraction continue, with local workers, the saleros, piling the salt into conical mounds to dry in the sun. These mounds, dotting the landscape, look like small primitive pyramids, a testament to the enduring relationship between humans and this extraordinary environment. Salar de Uyuni is more than just a destination. It is an experience that alters one's perception of space and reality. It is a powerful reminder that on this planet, there are still places of pure, unadulterated wonder, where nature puts on a show so grand and so bizarre, it must be seen to be believed. A place where the earth touches the sky, not as a metaphor, but as a breathtaking reality. From the serene and ethereal, we now descend into a landscape that appears to be torn from a vision of the apocalypse. We are in the Karakum Desert of Turkmenistan, approaching a place known by a truly fitting name, the Door to Hell. Officially called the Darvaza Gas Crater, this is not a natural phenomenon in the traditional sense, but rather the consequence of a human miscalculation that has burned for half a century. The story begins in 1971. Soviet geologists, prospecting for natural gas, set up a drilling rig in this remote desert location. They believed they had found a substantial oil field. However, the ground beneath their heavy equipment was not stable. It was a cavern filled with natural gas. The earth collapsed, swallowing the rig and creating a gaping crater more than 200 feet wide and nearly 70 feet deep, releasing vast quantities of poisonous methane gas into the atmosphere. Faced with a potential environmental disaster, the scientists made a fateful decision. Fearing the spread of the toxic gas, they decided to burn it off. They lit a fire, expecting the fuel to be exhausted within a few weeks. They were catastrophically wrong. The reserves of natural gas below were far greater than anyone had anticipated. That fire, ignited over 50 years ago, has never gone out. It has been burning continuously, day and night ever since. Approaching the crater at night is an unforgettable experience. From miles away, a fierce orange glow pulsates against the dark desert sky, drawing you closer like a moth to a flame. The heat becomes intense as you reach the rim, and the sound is a constant deep roar of thousands of individual fires licking up from the crater floor. It is a vision of a subterranean inferno, a window into a seemingly volcanic heart of the earth, yet it is all fueled by unseen gas. The sheer persistence of the fire is what makes this place so bizarre. It has become a strange monument to an industrial accident, a fiery scar on the landscape that refuses to heal. It has also, paradoxically, become a tourist attraction. Adventurers and curious travelers make the arduous journey into the desert to witness this spectacle, camping near its warm glow under the star-filled sky. It is a place that evokes a primal sense of awe and a little fear. The crater serves as a stark reminder of the immense and sometimes unpredictable power hidden just beneath our feet. While there have been discussions about extinguishing the flames to harness the gas reserves, the door to hell continues to burn, a fiery, man-made wonder in the middle of one of the world's great deserts. It is a testament to both the vast energy resources of our planet and the sometimes permanent consequences of our attempts to exploit them. We travel now to the Okanagan Valley in British Columbia, Canada, to a site that holds deep spiritual significance for the local Okanagan Silks people. This is Killook, known to the wider world as Spotted Lake. For most of the year it looks like any other small, unassuming body of water. But as the heat of summer arrives, a remarkable transformation takes place, revealing the lake's truly bizarre character. As the water begins to evaporate under the relentless summer sun, it leaves behind a multitude of large circular mineral pools. The lake becomes a mosaic of polka dots, each spot a different color depending on its precise mineral composition. The colors range from shades of green and blue to yellow and brown, creating a pattern that looks utterly alien, as if a giant artist has dabbed a paintbrush across the landscape. This strange phenomenon is the result of the lake's incredibly high concentration of various minerals. It contains some of the highest quantities of magnesium sulfate, calcium, and sodium sulfates in the world, along with traces of silver and titanium. Each of the hundreds of pools has a unique chemical makeup, which dictates its color. As the water recedes, walkways of hardened mineral deposits form between the pools, allowing one to, in theory, walk among the spots. For centuries, this has been a sacred place for the First Nations people. They considered the different pools to have distinct healing and medicinal properties. The minerals were used to treat ailments from aches and pains to skin diseases and battle wounds. The lake was a natural pharmacy, a place of immense power and reverence. The stories and traditions surrounding Killook are as rich and deep as the mineral deposits themselves. Today the lake and its surrounding land are protected, owned by the Okanagan Silks people. Access to the shoreline itself is restricted to preserve its fragile and sacred nature, but visitors can view the spectacle from a nearby highway viewpoint. Even from a distance the sight is extraordinary. The pattern of spots changes from year to year, and even throughout the summer, as the water levels continue to drop and the mineral concentrations shift. Spotted Lake is a geological marvel, a testament to the complex chemistry that can occur in nature. It reminds us that some of the most wondrous sights on our planet are not vast mountains or deep canyons, but small, concentrated pockets of peculiarity. It is a place where science and spirituality meet, where a simple process of evaporation creates a landscape that is both scientifically fascinating and deeply mystical. Our next destination takes us to the inner Aegean region of southwestern Turkey, to a place whose name translates to Cotton Castle. And when you see it, you totally understand why. This is Pamukali, a surreal landscape of brilliant white terraces that cascade down a mountainside. It looks like a frozen waterfall, or a hillside covered in freshly fallen snow, yet this is a place of intense heat. These ethereal formations are not ice or snow, but travertine, a form of limestone deposited by mineral-rich thermal waters. For thousands of years, hot springs with water temperatures reaching up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit have flowed down this 200-meter-high cliff. As the calcium-rich water cools on contact with the air, it releases carbon dioxide, causing calcium carbonate to precipitate and solidify, slowly building up these fantastic structures. The result is a series of terraced basins, filled with milky turquoise water, each one spilling over into the next. The effect is breathtakingly beautiful and utterly unique. Walking here with bare feet as is required to protect the delicate deposits is a strange sensation. The hardened travertine can be rough in places, while in the pools a soft, clay-like mineral paste coats the bottom. It is like walking through a dreamscape. Above these white terraces lie the ruins of an ancient Greco-Roman spa city, Hierapolis. The Romans, great connoisseurs of thermal baths, were drawn to the healing properties of these waters. They built a thriving city here, with temples, a grand theater, and an extensive necropolis. The wealthy and the infirm would travel from all across the Roman Empire to bathe in these sacred pools, seeking cures for their ailments. One of the most remarkable features here is the antique pool, often called Cleopatra's Pool. Here you can swim in the same warm, effervescent waters as the Romans did, surrounded by submerged marble columns and fragments from the ancient temple of Apollo, toppled into the water by an earthquake centuries ago. It is a direct physical connection to a distant past, a truly immersive historical experience. Pamukali is a rare and delicate wonder, a place where natural beauty and human history are inextricably intertwined. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and efforts are constantly underway to preserve its fragile white surfaces from damage by overuse and water diversion. It stands as a stunning example of how geological processes can create landscapes of sublime and otherworldly beauty, places that have captivated and soothed humanity for millennia. We now leave the sunlit world behind and venture deep beneath the elegant streets of Paris, into a realm of darkness, silence, and bone. This is the Catacombs of Paris, an underground ossuary that holds the remains of more than 6 million people. It is a place that is at once macabre, fascinating, and profoundly moving, a hidden city of the dead beneath the city of light. The story of the catacombs begins in the late 18th century. Parisian cemeteries, particularly the Central Les Innocents, were overflowing. They had become a serious public health hazard, contaminating water supplies and spreading disease. After years of deliberation, a radical solution was chosen. The city's dead would be exhumed and transferred to the vast network of ancient limestone quarries that lay empty beneath the city. This monumental task began in 1786 and continued for decades, mostly under the cover of darkness. Processions of horse-drawn carts accompanied by priests wound their way through the streets, carrying the bones from the cemeteries to their new subterranean resting place. Initially, the bones were simply tipped into the quarry tunnels, but this soon changed. The inspector of the quarries, Louis-Étienne Héricard de Thury, had a vision for something more. He decided to transform the chaotic bone piles into a carefully arranged, visitable mausoleum. He organized the femurs and skulls into artistic, almost decorative patterns. Walls of tibias are interspersed with rows of skulls, creating a hauntingly beautiful and deeply unsettling tableau. Plaques with philosophical and religious meditations on life and death were installed, turning the ossuary into a place of reflection. Walking through these tunnels today is a sobering experience. The air is cool and damp, and the only sound is the drip of water and the quiet footsteps of fellow visitors. You are surrounded quite literally by millions of souls. In the flickering light, the endless walls of bone seem to stretch into infinity. It is impossible not to contemplate one's own mortality in such a place. It is a stark, visceral reminder that all lives, from the anonymous poor to the revolutionary rich, end in the same way. The catacombs represent a unique solution to a practical problem, but they have become much more than that. They are a monument to the history of Paris, holding the generations that lived and died through revolutions, plagues, and golden ages. It is a bizarre and somber destination, yet it offers a profound connection to the human story, a silent underground empire that continues to fascinate and horrify in equal measure. Our quest for the bizarre takes us now to the Guiana Shield, to the border where Venezuela, Brazil and Guyana meet. Here, rising dramatically from the surrounding jungle and savanna, is a group of flat-topped mountains known as tepuis. The highest and most famous of these is Mount Rorima. This is not a mountain in the conventional pointed peak sense, it is a massive natural fortress, a plateau in the sky. Rorima's sheer 400-meter-high cliffs stand like impenetrable walls, isolating its summit from the world below. For centuries it was considered unclimbable, a place of myths and legends for the local Paimun people, who believed it to be the stump of a mighty tree that once held all the fruits and vegetables in the world. Its flat, cloud-shrouded summit remained a complete mystery, a world apart. It was this very isolation that captured the imagination of the British author Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The tales of expeditions to Rorima directly inspired his 1912 novel, The Lost World, a thrilling adventure about explorers discovering a remote plateau where dinosaurs and other prehistoric creatures still survived. And while no dinosaurs have been found on Rorima, the reality is almost as strange. The summit of Rorima is a truly alien landscape. It is not a lush plateau but a labyrinth of twisted black rock formations, sculpted by millennia of wind and rain. Strange carnivorous plants unique to this environment trap insects in their slippery leaves. Black frogs, so ancient they cannot hop or swim, crawl across the damp rocks. It is a bizarre, monochromatic world, often shrouded in thick mist, giving it an eerie, primordial atmosphere. Reaching the summit today is possible via a challenging multi-day trek up a natural ramp on the Venezuelan side. The journey takes hikers through cloud forest and across rushing rivers before the final steep ascent. The reward is stepping out onto this otherworldly plateau. The views from the edge when the clouds part are staggering, looking out over the endless green expanse of the Amazon basin. Mount Rorima is a living laboratory of evolution. Its isolation has allowed unique species of flora and fauna to develop, found nowhere else on Earth. It is one of the oldest geological formations on the planet, a fragment of the ancient supercontinent of Gondwana. To stand on its summit is to feel like you have stepped back in time or perhaps onto another planet entirely. It remains a true lost world, a bizarre and beautiful testament to the enduring power of nature. We journey now to northern Tanzania, to a place of stark and deadly beauty. This is Lake Natron, an alkaline body of water so caustic it can burn the skin and eyes of most animals that come into contact with it. Its waters are a forbidding, blood red, not because of blood, but because of microorganisms that thrive in its incredibly salty environment. The lake's extreme nature comes from its unique chemistry. It is fed by mineral-rich hot springs and a river that flows through a landscape dominated by a nearby active volcano, Olduinyo Lengai. This volcano is unique in that it erupts nitrocarbonatite lava, a substance rich in sodium carbonate. This washes into the lake, creating a pH level as high as 10.5, almost as alkaline as ammonia. It is a chemical cocktail lethal to most forms of life, and yet, life persists. A single species of fish, the alkaline tilapia, has adapted to the harsh conditions, and remarkably the lake is the world's most important breeding ground for the lesser flamingo. These resilient birds have evolved tough skin and glands that excrete salt, allowing them to build their mud nests on the salt islands that form in the lake, safe from predators who cannot brave the caustic water. Their presence creates a stunning visual contrast, millions of pink birds against the deep red water, but it is the lake's more sinister reputation that makes it truly bizarre. The high concentration of sodium carbonate acts as a remarkable preservative, almost like the mummification process of the ancient Egyptians. Animals that die in the lake, mostly birds that have become disoriented and crashed into its mirror-like surface, are sometimes washed ashore, perfectly preserved. They are calcified, turned into eerie stone-like statues. Photographer Nick Brandt famously captured this phenomenon in a series of haunting images, posing the calcified creatures in lifelike positions. These images revealed the lake's petrifying power to the world, creating the legend of a deadly lake that turns animals to stone. While the animals don't literally turn to stone in an instant, the effect of the calcification is undeniably real and honestly, deeply unsettling. Lake Natron is a landscape of paradoxes. It is deadly yet a cradle of life. It is beautiful yet dangerous. Its waters are red, its shores are white with salt, and its most famous inhabitants are pink. It is a powerful example of how life can adapt to even the most extreme and hostile environments on our planet. and a sobering reminder of the fine line between life and preservation and death. Our journey now takes us to a small, secluded grove of trees near the town of Gryfino in western Poland. At first glance it might seem like an ordinary pine forest, but step inside, and you'll find yourself in a place that really defies the normal rules of botany. This is the Crooked Forest, a small patch of woodland where every single tree trunk grows with a sharp, 90-degree bend at its base. Approximately 400 pine trees were planted here sometime around 1930. For some unknown reason, each one grows normally for a few inches before bending sharply to the north, growing horizontally for 3 to 9 feet, and then curving back upwards towards the sky. The result is a forest of J-shaped trees, all bent in unison, creating a scene that's both graceful and deeply mysterious. The most baffling aspect of the Crooked Forest is that it's surrounded by a larger forest of perfectly straight pine trees. The anomaly is confined to this specific, small plot. This really rules out most natural explanations. If a powerful wind or heavy snowfall had bent the saplings as they grew, it would have affected the surrounding trees as well, and likely in a more random, chaotic pattern, not this uniform, smooth curve. So what could have caused this? The truth is, nobody knows for sure. The town of Gryfino was largely destroyed during World War II, and any records or local inhabitants who might have held the answer were lost. This has left the field wide open for speculation, and the theories are numerous. The most widely accepted explanation involves human intervention. It's thought that the trees were deliberately shaped by local farmers or carpenters. Perhaps they were being grown for a specific purpose, like creating naturally curved wood for boat building, furniture, or even the ribs of a sleigh. The technique would involve pinning the young saplings down, forcing them to grow horizontally before allowing them to correct themselves and grow upwards towards the light. But this theory remains unproven. Why was the project abandoned? Why only this small patch of trees? Other, more fanciful theories suggest bizarre gravitational pulls, or even the passage of enemy tanks during the war, rolling over the young trees and bending them without killing them. Whatever the cause, the effect is an enchanting and puzzling natural sculpture. The forest has an almost magical quality, a silent, woody enigma that continues to intrigue all who wander through its curved aisles. We now travel to a place so remote and biologically unique that it's often described as the most alien-looking place on Earth. This is the island of Socotra, part of an archipelago in the Indian Ocean belonging to Yemen. Isolated from mainland Africa for millions of years, evolution here has taken a strange and wonderful path. To set foot on Socotra is to feel as if you've landed on another planet. The landscape itself is dramatic, with limestone plateaus, deep canyons, and pristine sandy beaches. But it's the flora that truly defines the island's bizarre character. A third of its plant life is found nowhere else on the planet. The most iconic of these endemic species is the dragon's blood tree. It's an extraordinary sight, shaped like a giant upturned umbrella with a dense canopy of waxy leaves designed to capture moisture from the mists. The tree gets its name from the dark red resin it produces, which seeps from its bark when cut. This dragon's blood has been prized since antiquity, used as a dye, a varnish, and as a traditional medicine for a variety of ailments. The trees dot the high plateaus of the island, creating a prehistoric and otherworldly forest unlike any other. They're ancient beings, some estimated to be over 500 years old. But the oddities don't end there. Socotra is also home to the bizarre bottle tree, or desert rose. Its trunk is grotesquely swollen and bulbous, appearing far too thick for the delicate pink flowers that sprout from its few spindly branches. It looks like something from a surrealist painting, a plant designed to store water in its massive trunk to survive the arid conditions. The island's isolation has also resulted in unique fauna. While there are no native mammals other than bats, the island is rich in bird life and reptiles. Many of the species, like the Socotra sunbird and the Socotran chameleon, are endemic. The entire island is a living museum of natural history, a precious sanctuary of biodiversity recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Socotra is a fragile paradise. It faces threats from climate change, overgrazing, and the potential impact of modern development. To visit is a rare privilege, a journey to a lost world that's remained largely untouched by time. It's a powerful reminder of the incredible diversity of life on our planet and the importance of protecting these unique evolutionary crucibles before their strange and wonderful secrets are lost forever. For our final destination, we venture into the remote desert wilderness of the Arizona-Utah border in the United States. Here, hidden within the Coyote Butte's North Permit area, is a geological masterpiece known simply as the Wave. It's not a Grand Canyon or a towering mountain, but an intimate and exquisitely beautiful sandstone formation that seems to flow and ripple like liquid rock. The Wave is a swirling confluence of color and form. It's composed of two main troughs, sculpted from 190-million-year-old Jurassic-era Navajo sandstone. Over eons, wind and water have worked as patient artists, carving the rock into undulating, sensuous curves. The rock itself is striped with delicate, flowing bands of red, orange, yellow, and pink, layers of ancient sediment now exposed and polished by the elements. To walk into the Wave is to enter a natural work of art. The light plays across the curved surfaces, creating a constantly shifting dance of shadow and color. In the morning, the light is soft, accentuating the subtle hues. At midday, the sun illuminates the troughs, making the colors pop with fiery intensity. It's a photographer's dream, a place where every angle reveals a new and breathtaking composition. Getting to the Wave is an adventure in itself. Access is strictly controlled to protect its fragile beauty. Only a handful of permits are issued each day through a highly competitive lottery system. This ensures that the delicate sandstone fins and ridges are not trampled and destroyed by overuse. Those lucky enough to win a permit must then undertake a challenging, unmarked hike through several miles of rugged desert terrain to find this hidden gem. The journey makes the arrival all the more rewarding. After navigating the open desert, to suddenly descend into this smooth, flowing world of stone feels like discovering a secret. The Wave is relatively small, but you can spend hours exploring its contours, marveling at the sheer artistry of nature. It's a place that encourages quiet contemplation and a deep appreciation for the slow, persistent forces that shape our planet. The Wave is a perfect embodiment of bizarre geological beauty. It's an ephemeral-looking landscape, seemingly frozen in mid-flow, captured in solid rock. It's a powerful testament to the fact that some of the world's most incredible wonders are not vast and imposing, but small, delicate, and hidden away, waiting to be discovered by the patient and the fortunate. A final stunning example of a place on Earth you won't believe exists. And so our journey through the world's most bizarre and beautiful places comes to an end. From the sky-reflecting salt flats of Bolivia to the flowing rock of Arizona, we have witnessed just a fraction of the planet's capacity for strangeness and wonder. These 10 locations are a testament to the incredible geological forces, the strange quirks of chemistry, and the sheer, unbridled imagination of nature. They challenge our expectations and remind us that there is always something new and astonishing to discover. But our planet holds countless other secrets. Perhaps you know of a whispering cave, a forest of petrified giants, or a beach that glows in the dark. The world is a vast and endlessly fascinating place, and the list of its oddities is long. I encourage you to continue this exploration in the comments below. Share your own suggestions for bizarre travel destinations. What strange and wonderful places have you encountered on your own travels or dreamed of visiting? Thank you for joining me, Negi Boy, on this exploration of the unbelievable. It is a privilege to share these wonders with you. If you enjoyed this journey and wish to see more of the incredible destinations our world has to offer, please consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. There's always another adventure just around the corner, another story waiting to be told. Until next time, keep exploring.